ओंटारियो च कोरोना का कहर लगातार जारी है। इस बारे जानकारी दिंदियां ओंटारियो की एसोसीएट मैडिकल अधिकारी डॉक्टर याफी ने दस्सिया कि सोमवार को 3000 तो उपर एडिशनल केस रिपोर्ट किए गए हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि इन्होंने 7 दिनों की एवरेज 1099 बनती है। उन्होंने कहा कि सब तो ज़्यादा प्रकोप यॉर्क, पीलीजन और टोरंटो में देखने को मिल रहा है।
Since we last spoke on Monday, Ontario has recorded an additional 3,876 new cases of COVID-19. The 7-day average is now 1,369 cases, and this is up from 1,299 1 week ago and 996 cases 2 weeks ago. Most of the cases reported over the last few days, in fact, close to 80% of the cases, are concentrated in those regions that are now in the red. Control zone, which is Toronto, Peel, York, Hamilton, and Halton. Our latest test positivity rate for the province is 4.1%, which is only slightly lower than it was 1 week ago at 4.3%. As our cases have increased in recent weeks, so too have our hospitalizations and, unfortunately, the deaths. Today, there are 526 people hospitalized with COVID-19, which is a 22% increase over last week, where we had 431. And there are 146 people in ICU, which represents a 49% increase over last week. Tragically, yesterday we reported 32 people lost their lives to COVID-19, and today we have the sad news of reporting another 28. We do not want to forget that all these numbers represent human beings who have people who love them and care for them. We want to offer our sincere condolences to those impacted by the lives lost and offer our support to those recovering from the illness as well as those caring for them. Before I turn it over to Dr. Heyer, I do just want to add a few observations. I know that these trends are concerning, and overall, we're heading in the wrong direction. We have been saying this repeatedly for some time now. And over the last few days, we have been carefully reviewing the data and discussing next steps for our health unit regions, that feeling of concern and urgency has not diminished. In fact, for some areas, it has intensified. We need to get these numbers down to protect the health and safety of Ontarians and to protect our healthcare system from becoming overwhelmed. I continue to urge people today and every day to make the right decisions. This challenge is not insurmountable, but it is going to be tough. I know what you're saying is we've been asking this of you for quite a while now, and with winter coming, it may feel even more overwhelming knowing that months into this pandemic, we still need to physical distance.
ओंटारियो के प्रीमियर डग फोर्ड का कहना है कि कोरोना के प्रभाव को वेखदियां प्रोविंस सरकार हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी कैंपेन चलाउण जा रही है। उन्होंने कहा कि इसलिए 200 प्रोविंस ऑफेंस अधिकारी तैनात किए जाएंगे। फोर्ड अनुसार यह ऑफेंस अधिकारी प्रोविंस अंदर ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਥਾਵਾਂ ਤੇ दौरा करेंगे, जनतक सेहत की निगरानी करेंगे ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ तहत जे कोई व्यक्ति जनतक सेहत उपावां की पालना नहीं करता ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ जुर्माना किया जाएगा।
We're going to continue to support you while cracking down on the bad actors out there. That's why today we're launching another series of workplace health and safety and education and enforcement campaigns across the province. We're deploying 200 provincial offence officers from across several ministries to visit as many businesses as we can in hotspots across the province. These proactive inspections are a key tool to get to areas when they're in yellow and orange. These are critical preventative measures to help stop the spread and avoid these areas going to red. We'll ask each business that is required to have a COVID-19 safety plan to provide it to us in writing. And we'll work collaboratively with them to make sure they have the best plans in place to protect their customers and workers based on the latest medical advice and workplace health and safety information available I also want to send a message to the rule breakers out there. My friends, we have to tighten things up. We can't accept anything less. And for any bad actors out there, to anyone who knowingly and deliberately breaks the rules, will not hesitate to fine you and shut you down. With the high numbers we're seeing in some places, we can't afford to have workplaces that are unsafe or host large gatherings or parties, because this virus spreads like wildfire. It hurts your customers, it hurts your workers, and it hurts your community. It's that simple. My friends, we're all in this together, and we all must be part of this solution. We have to avoid the worst-case scenario at all costs, and I can assure you we are prepared to do whatever it takes to stop the spread of this virus before it takes a greater toll on our loved ones. Tomorrow, our government will release further public health restrictions based on the best medical advice, and as it's looking, these measures, they will have to be tough in the hardest hit areas. We're seeing concerning trends. Our hospital ICUs are in jeopardy. Our long-term care homes are at risk. We have some difficult but necessary decisions to make. But today, I'm asking the people of Ontario to listen, especially with the holidays quickly approaching. We can still head off the worst. We can still protect our hospitals and long-term care homes if we follow the public health measures. We can save countless lives, and that's worth everything in the world. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario.
ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੇ ਕਿਰਤ ਸਿਖਲਾਈ ਅਤੇ ਹੁਨਰ ਵਿਕਾਸ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਮੈਂਟੋ ਮੈਕਨਾਹਟਨ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰੀ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਮੀਨੀ ਪੱਧਰ ਉੱਤੇ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਨਾਲ ਨਜਿੱਠਣ ਲਈ 27,000 ਦੇ ਕਰੀਬ ਨਿਗਰਾਨੀਆਂ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਜਾਣਗੀਆਂ, ਜਿਸ ਲਈ 200 ਅਧਿਕਾਰੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਭਰਤੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਓਨਟਾਰੀਓ ਦੀ ਨਵੀਂ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਕੰਪੇਨ ਦਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੈ।
My ministry has had boots on the ground since the start of this pandemic, conducting over 27,000 inspections. This new safety campaign further supports communities across Ontario. In the past month, provincial officers have visited more than 1,000 workplaces in 7 communities as part of this targeted effort. From big box stores in Mississauga to nail salons in Waterloo, our officers are educating and guiding businesses on staying safe and staying open. They are checking that businesses are following public health measures, such as completing a workplace safety plan. These plans are now required by certain businesses in public health regions identified as being in the protect, restrict, control, or lockdown level. In Peel region, for example, a 2-day campaign at the beginning of November saw 56 officers visit over 300 stores. They found that more than 80% of businesses are doing the right thing, and any contraventions that have been found have been resolved through education and some immediate adjustments. Businesses want, above all, to keep workers employed and continue serving their clients. However, we won't hesitate to ticket any and all businesses that are blatantly and deliberately disregarding the rules. The successful campaigns in Peel region, London Middlesex, and now in Waterloo are just the beginning. The officers who volunteered for these campaigns are part of a province-wide multi-ministry team of more than 200 officers. They are working mainly in higher risk areas of the province and regions that request additional help. Over the next few weeks, they'll be in Toronto, York region, Ottawa, Eastern Ontario, and more. These campaigns wouldn't be possible without the more than 200 guidance documents, videos, posters, and tip sheets that have been posted online. Over 1 million employers and workers have already viewed these resources. Again, they're available at ontario.ca/COVID safety. Finally, I'd like to echo the requests that have been made by the Premier, the Minister of Health, the Chief Medical Officer of Health, and others. We all need to work together to stop the spread of this disease. We need to wear masks, wash our hands frequently, keep 2 meters apart, avoid large gatherings, and stay home if you're feeling ill. People's lives and livelihoods depend on it.
ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਸੰਘੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ C-12 ਪੇਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਨਿਕਾਸ ਟੀਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਰਤੀ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਯੋਜਨਾ ਬਣਾਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਵਾਇਰਸ ਕਾਰਨ ਇਸ ਵਾਰ ਕਲਾਈਮੇਟ ਚੇਂਜ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਦੁਸ਼ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਵੇਖਣ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ।
Over the past 10 months, our government has been doing everything we can to fight COVID-19 and keep Canadians safe. This is our top priority, but it doesn't mean it's our only priority. Climate change remains one of the greatest challenges of our times. Just like with COVID-19, ignoring the risks of climate change isn't an option. That approach would only make the costs higher and the long-term consequences worse. People have already seen what floods, storms, and wildfires do to homes, communities, and businesses. Canadians know how climate change threatens our health, our economic future, and our planet. So on this, Canadians have been very clear. They want climate action now. During the last election, our government promised to legally bind Canada to its commitment of net zero emissions by 2050. This morning, we delivered on that promise with the tabling of Bill C-12, the Canadian Net Zero Emissions Accountability Act. Bill C-12 lays out a framework of accountability and transparency that will ensure we reach this goal in a way that gives Canadians confidence. This is a fundamental step in our strategy to build a strong, resilient economy that works for everyone. We don't have to choose between clean air and good jobs. The argument that protecting the economy and protecting the environment and growing the economy don't go hand in hand is an old and failed way of seeing things. Don't just take it from me, take it from Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of Canada, who recently said that the transition to net zero is creating the greatest commercial opportunity of our age. Over 120 countries around the world have now committed to reaching net zero by 2050. Major Canadian companies in everything from tech to food to energy have joined in. Momentum is building around the world, and we can't miss our moment to act. Canada is well positioned to be a leader and provide the world with the cleanest, most cutting-edge innovations now and for decades to come. Low-carbon, climate-resilient projects are not just good for the planet, they're also good for business. Look no further than the investments we announced last month to retool the Ford Oakville plant into making electric vehicles.
ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਅਧਿਕਾਰੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਬੋਨੀ ਹੈਨਰੀ ਨੇ BC ਅੰਦਰ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਆਊਟਬ੍ਰੇਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ 'ਚ ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਪੀੜਤ ਕੁੱਲ ਮਰੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ 24,900 ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਛਲੇ 24 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਮੌਤ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ।
So for today, I want to report a total of 538 new cases of COVID-19 in British Columbia, including 9 epidemiologically linked cases, bringing our total to 24,960 people in British Columbia with COVID-19. The new cases by Health Authority, 178 are in the Vancouver Coastal Health Region, 309 people are in the Fraser Health Region, 12 people reside in the Vancouver Island Health Region, 28 people in the Interior Health Region, and 11 people are from the Northern Health Region. We now have 6,929 active cases of COVID-19 in the province in all of our health authorities. Of whom 217 are in hospital, 59 of whom are in critical care or ICU. We have had, sadly, one additional death in the last 24 hours, bringing the number of people in British Columbia who've died from COVID-19 to 321. As always, we send our deep condolences to the family, to the care providers of this person, one of our seniors who we've lost from long-term care. We now have 9,929 people under active public health monitoring across the province and 17,207 people who have recovered from COVID-19. We have 6 new healthcare outbreaks to report, and no new ones that have been declared over, bringing our total to 59 active outbreaks in our healthcare system, 41 in long-term care or assisted living, and 40 in long-term care and assisted living, and 19 in acute care. We also have an additional outbreak in a community to report, and this is at the Crombie BC LNG joint venture, a contracted site of the LNG Canada plant and project in Kitimat, where we have a number of workers at that site who have tested positive for COVID-19, and the investigation with Northern Health and the owners and contractor of that facility are ongoing. So today, as is no surprise to anybody, we are in our second surge, and it is proving to be a challenge. While we all hoped that we would not experience a second wave based on what has been happening around the world, around this country, and around our province, we anticipated that this may occur. We knew that every pandemic that we've ever had has had more than one wave.
ਅਮਰੀਕੀ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਜਿੱਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਭਾਰਤੀ ਮੂਲ ਦੀ ਕਮਲਾ ਹੈਰਿਸ ਉਪ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਵਜੋਂ ਚੁਣੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੋਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਸਰਕਾਰੀ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਸੱਦਾ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਦੇ ਐਮਪੀ ਪੀਟਰ ਜੂਲੀਅਨ ਨੇ 16 ਨਵੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਕਾਮਨਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਮਤਾ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਅਤੇ ਕਮਲਾ ਹੈਰਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਤ ਦੀਆਂ ਵਧਾਈਆਂ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਅਮਰੀਕੀ ਨੇਤਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਕਾਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਸ਼ਣ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਪੇਸ਼ਕਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ। ਜੂਲੀਅਨ ਦੇ ਮਤੇ ਤੇ ਸੰਸਦ ਦੇ ਹੇਠਲੇ ਸਦਨ ਹਾਊਸ ਆਫ ਕਾਮਨਸ ਦੇ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਐਂਥਨੀ ਰੋਟਾ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਪੱਖ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਈ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਦਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੋਰਨਾਂ ਐਮਪੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਮਤੇ ਦਾ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਅਤੇ ਹੈਰਿਸ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ। ਜ਼ਿਕਰਯੋਗ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਤੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਦੇ ਕਈ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਸਣੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਤਿੱਖੀ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਸੀ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਟਰੰਪ ਅਤੇ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਲਈ ਸੱਟੇ ਵੀ ਲਾਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ। ਜ਼ਿਕਰਯੋਗ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਤ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਨੇਤਾਵਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਜਸਟਿਨ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਦੋਹਾਂ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਮਲਿਆਂ ਸੰਬੰਧੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ। ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ 2016 ਵਿੱਚ ਆਖਰੀ ਵਾਰ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਏ ਸਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਬਰਾਕ ਓਬਾਮਾ ਦੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਪ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਅਹੁਦੇ ਤੇ ਸਨ। ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਸੰਸਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਸ਼ਣ ਦੇਣਾ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀਆਂ ਲਈ ਆਮ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਕਲਿਨ ਡੇਨਾਲੋ ਅਤੇ ਬਿਲ ਕਲਿੰਟਨ ਵੀ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੀ ਸੰਸਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਸ਼ਣ ਦੇ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹਨ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਸਾਡੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਨੂੰ ਲਾਈਕ ਤੇ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ YouTube ਤੇ।